Wah wah. My name is Hannah and this is my no-buy year. I'm wearing this really glossy, shiny, slippery lipstick and I'm terrified and convinced that it's going to end up on my teeth. It's time for another empties. It's time for my March empties, and once again I am staggered by the number of empties that I collected in the month of March. I knew I was filming my empties today, it was on my schedule, but today during work I was thinking about getting home from work and filming and I was like, what did I finish this month? And then I came home and I pulled out my empties bag and I looked in it and I was like, holy bananas. It's so much stuff. I have a bunch of empties and then I have 3 repurchases, things that I ran out of that were the last of their kind, and I'll show you the things that I replaced them with. Okay, so the first thing out of the bag is the Clinique Moisture Surge Overnight Mask. And I've had this for a really long time. It's the big one. It is a wonderful, wonderful replenishing overnight moisturizing mask. If you've got super dry skin or you live in a super dry climate and you're looking for something to pile onto your skin at night and sleep in like a serious mask and then wake up and wash it off and you've got nice soft skin underneath, I highly recommend this. It doesn't soak in. It's not pleasant to sleep in. It will get on your pillow. It will get on your sheets. It's definitely something that you have to put on last thing right before bed and sort of just stiffly lie back and forget about it and fall asleep. But to me, it was worth it. I'm really glad that I had it and it saved my skin during some really dry months when I lived in Michigan. I'm not mourning it now that it's gone. I finished it pretty early in the month. It was almost finished. It's been almost finished for a really long time and it's one of those things that I keep reaching for and trying to squeeze one last little teaspoon out of, and finally I was just like, I need to give up, it's over. So I finished it way towards the beginning of the month. I just realized it was done and I put it in my empties. And I haven't thought about it once since then. So I think that my loyalties have moved on to other overnight sleeping products, but I can't say I don't recommend this one, I really do. I actually just went through and I pulled out a bunch of other night sleeping masks and moisturizers because this was the month that they all ran dry. I have always been saying this whole time that I've got a bunch of little half-finished or almost finished moisturizers kicking around and that it's gonna be forever until I run out of a sleeping mask, or it's gonna be forever until I run out of a moisturizer, because I felt like my vanity was littered with these almost finished or sample size moisturizers, which was true. But what happened was, because I wasn't purchasing anything new in that category, they all dropped like flies through the month of March. Actually, towards the beginning of the month of March. So here are the other ones. There's this Caudalie mask. It just says moisturizing mask. It's a Caudalie product. It's called moisturizing mask. And I believe that the instructions say, okay, so it says remove after 15 minutes or leave on all night. Phew, I'm glad it says that because that's what I used this for. I used this as a night sleeping mask as well. And it performs almost exactly the same as the Clinique one. To me, they were basically like the same product. Not exact dupes for They are not exact dupes for each other in texture and smell and stuff like that, but in performance, to me, these are exact dupes. And I really, really loved them both. Again, I got a lot of use out of them. I kept squeaking out that last little smidge after this was pretty much used up. It was just time for them to go. I had this Dr. Jart product. It's one of the ones in the metal squeezy tube. The tiger grass cream also comes in this packaging, and the ceramidin cream also comes in this packaging. It comes with a little key so you can get the last little bit out. And this one's called Liftra. It's a peptide cream and it's really stringy and goopy and weird. And I regretted purchasing it about halfway through this tube. And then the more I got through this tube, the more I regretted purchasing it. Partly because I never committed to it fully. I would use it once in a while because I just wanted to use it up. Every time I used it, I kind of suspected that it was giving me tiny, tiny clogged pores, like little whiteheads, not real blemishes, but like those little clogged pore thingies. I kind of suspected that this was doing that to me because it's a really, really, really rich anti-aging cream, and it definitely creates kind of an occlusive, almost suffocating feeling barrier on the skin. It's good for that reason if that's what you need. If you have super dry, and I would say mature skin, and you're looking for something that's just gonna go the distance in terms of creating that thick occlusive layer, I do recommend this. It also is kind of oily. I didn't like the smell. I love Dr. Jart products, and I just could not get behind this. And then the other problem with it is the further down in the tube I got, the paint starts to flake. I don't know if you can, well, yeah, so if you even just touch it, look, get the little white paint from the tube is all over my fingers. And it's so annoying because the one thing you don't want when you're about to apply a cream to your face is tiny, tiny specks of paint mixed in with it. As I got further and further to the end of this product, it became almost impossible to get any product out without getting that paint all over my fingers. And then there's no way, you've just squeezed it out, so there's no way to like wash your hands before applying this stuff. The packaging's really bad. So I didn't like this product, but I really love the tiger grass cream that Dr. Jart makes, and I really love the ceramidin cream, but they both come in this same packaging, and for that reason, until they update the packaging, I won't be purchasing either of them. It has genuinely become unusable because of that paint issue, and that combined with the fact that I don't really like the performance and I think it was breaking me out, for me, meant that this was time to go in the empties because I did a good job. I made very respectable progress, and I really pushed myself and forced myself to get my money's worth out of this, but it was time for it to go. This is the Dr. Jart Water Drop. It's like a gel cream, and I actually do highly, highly recommend this if you have oily skin. I used this as like a gym moisturizer when I would go to Bikram yoga or go to the gym and I was, you know, getting dressed after working out. My skin would start to feel kind of dry and tight, but I'm not really prepared at the gym to put on layers and layers of moisturizing cream. I also don't really want to put on anything thick. I want to put on something to relieve the tightness of my skin, but that's going to soak in and kind of disappear right away. That's what this does. So for me, for any other purpose, it's not good. My skin is too dry for water drop, but it's a beautiful product and it definitely didn't break me out. If you have oily skin, I do recommend checking this out if you're looking for something. It's got a really strange and lovely texture, and unlike Liftra, a really nice herbal smell. It comes out sort of like, it dissolves, sort of. It kind of dissolves away into water. It's like a squeezy gel that dissolves into water. It's hard to explain, but it was a pleasure to use that product. I got really into this brand Mizon when I was first learning about K-beauty. This is their snail cream. It's called the all-in-one snail cream. All-in-one snail repair. It's called the all-in-one snail repair cream. And it's a very simple, nourishing, very lightweight, almost a serum. Actually, this is marketed as a cream. I would call it a serum, and I used it in my routine in the place of a serum. I would pat it into my skin before oils, actually, because that's how liquidy it is. It's nice, it's nourishing, it has a lot of snail mucin in it. I do believe that snail is good for your skin, and I liked the effect of this. I have actually repurchased this a couple of times, but at this point in my skincare explorations, I don't feel like I need this anymore. I'm not going to repurchase it. I have a lot of other things that make me happier than this. But if you've been thinking about this, if you're curious about snail, this is really a good deal. It's effective, it's easy to use, and it's inexpensive. I got mine on Amazon. So those were the dregs of my moisturizers. And I have a morning moisturizer, which is the Perricone MD Photoplasma. That's the SPF 30. That's my moisturizing sunscreen that I use in the morning. And that's the only space in my morning routine for a moisturizer. I have a full jar of that. It's the only one that I have, and that's the one I'll continue to repurchase. But in terms of evening moisturizers, like things to layer on over my serums and oils as the last step in my routine to keep everything sealed in while I sleep, or deeply nourishing overnight moisturizers in that category, they were the last of what I had in that category. So when they ran out, it was time to repurchase. So I made this purchase that I have been threatening now for 3 months to make. I bought the Belif True Cream Moisturizing Balm, and I really love this product. It's incredibly nourishing, and I actually made sure these were all just running out right before my trip to my artist residency, which was in a cold, wintry, snowy climate, and I made sure to place this order so that I would have this in time to take with me. And luckily, the running out of all those other things kind of coincided with my departure, so I was able to buy this and take it with me free and clear within the rules of my no-buy year. I'll read what it says. It says, our belief... It's a sentence that doesn't make sense. Our belief to deliver an explosion of long-lasting moisture up to 26 hours. So it has comfrey leaf in it. It's just a super hydrating, nourishing cream. And when I first started using it, I was layering it on really, really thick. My skin was feeling dry, I was in a different climate, and I think I was putting it on too thick. And if you watched my last video where I talked about how I was afraid that the Tarte oil was breaking me out, it could have been this, but not because it causes me to break out, because I know that it doesn't. I've used it before for enough of a length of time that I know that it doesn't cause breakouts on me. But it could have just been that I was putting it on so thick, because I was really wearing it as like a sleeping mask. And what happened was, just in the 2 weeks of my artist residency, I used up like almost half of this, because I was taking these huge gobs and spreading it all over my face every night. And then I was horrified. I was like, I'm going through this way too fast. And since then I've really backed off. I'm just using a little bit, and a little does go a long way if you're not using it as a mask, but if you're using it as it's intended, as a moisturizer. So I started doing that, and now I'm going through it at a more normal rate of speed. And my breakouts have stopped, either because I stopped using that Tarte oil or because I stopped using this so thickly. And I promised I was gonna start using the Tarte product again, and to be honest, I haven't gotten up the courage yet. Every time I almost reach for it, I'm so tempted because it makes my skin look so beautiful. I'm talking about the Radiance drops. They're like oil drops. They have coconut oil in them. And that's what I think could have been causing my breakouts. I almost reach for it, and then I'm like, I start thinking about what it's like to get a zit, and I'm like, do I really want to risk that? Is it worth it? Is it worth it? And so far, I just haven't been able to bring myself to start the experiment again. But I have been continuing to use this, and my skin has cleared up, so you get what I'm saying. This is a great product. It's also not a bad price. If you're within the realm of high end, it's like the budget option, but it's really, really good. So I'm happy that I have this. That's now my only night cream. Like after I layer on all my skincare at night, it's the last step. It's the only one I have. That category has shrunk down to 1, which is what I'm hoping all of my skincare categories will do over the course of the year as I finish up categories and then replace each category with only one thing. So that has now happened with night moisturizer. And I did say that I was going to have 2 categories for night moisturizer, moisturizing mask and active mask. And active mask is also empty. That category is empty. I just have this strange reluctance to purchase anything that I only need one. I only need the moisturizing one. The active one would be nice to have because that's like a treatment. The one that I would buy would be the Korres Wild Rose Night Sleeping Mask. I love that product. I've put it in my Sephora cart and then taken it out. it's hard for me to pull the trigger because it's my no-buy year. Something's just holding me back. It doesn't feel right, or I don't want it enough, or something. And I'm not promising here that I'm not gonna buy an active mask for the whole year. I just wanted to let you guys know that this is starting to happen. Categories are starting to run empty, and I'm choosing to not fill them. So it's just been interesting. I got this sample of the Givenchy Noir Interdit mascara, and it has an aspect that I genuinely despise. It has this super gimmicky wand. So this is just a sample, and it came in this really interesting package. It was sealed in like a... Apologies. It was sealed in this little tray with a foil peel back, and you peeled back the foil part of the way, and then the wand with the mascara was stuck in the rest, and you like pulled it out. And the thing I dislike about this is that it's got this, the wand like turns, and you can put it up straight or you can turn it, and I guess it's supposed to be so that you can get at every angle. I don't know what, oh, it smells good. I don't know what they're, that is what they're marketing. They're saying that by being able to turn the wand like this, you can get at more lashes. And I just don't, I'm like, what can you do with a bent wand that you can't do just by changing the angle of your wrist? Like, if you know, can you explain that to me? Because it annoys me that there's a mascara wand that's not stuck straight. That's like, I'm afraid if I brush it, it's gonna brush itself over. Like, I don't know. So that I really hate, and I extra hate it because I love everything else about this mascara. The formula is fantastic. It reminds me a lot of the IT Cosmetics Superhero Stretch. Really, really volumizing, really lengthening. And the thing that I love is this really super spiky rubber bristled wand. It's really spiky, like it looks like a weapon, and you're afraid that you're gonna poke your eye out with it. But I found out when I had this sample, and there was enough for me to wear it for maybe 3 days, that this extremely spiky but full rubber bristled wand is perfect for me for separating and lengthening my lashes. I love to layer and layer and layer these volumizing mascaras, but then there's the risk of serious clumping. And with this rubber bristle wand, it spreads all the lashes apart, and it kept it from clumping. I went bananas. I started putting this on, and I was like, this is the best. This is the best. When I run out of mascara, I'm gonna buy Givenchy Noir Interdit. That was what I said to myself when I was doing it. The wand, it's annoying. I wish it wasn't bendy like that. So I have to decide if it's gonna be worth it to me, and I'm still a ways off with mascara. My mascaras are all, they seem like never ending. I kind of wish that they would run out so that I could replace them, but it's not happening. So yeah, that was a really gratifying sample. I discovered a mascara that I think I might love just from a little sample, so glad to be able to share that with you. I used up my massive bottle of Bioderma at the beginning of the month, and I replaced it with another one. I got this one just because I'm a sucker for variety. I like having something different. I didn't want to get the exact same thing again. It was such a boring purchase. Like, I didn't have any other Micellar water. Obviously, this was my only one. I was like, I have the chance to buy something new, but I really like this push top that it has. It's like it pumps down and you can just press your cotton on top of it. I really like that. And I was about to purchase this one again, and I was just like, oh, so boring, honey. So I went with a different one instead. And so far I haven't noticed a difference at all. I guess this was the sensitive one. Yeah, this was the sensitive skin one, and this is like the purifying one, so this one's more for oily skin. It's probably more, this one's probably more rigorous, like more effective, and that's fine for me. My skin actually, it's acne prone and it's very pale, but it's actually not that sensitive. Like it can withstand some pretty harsh treatments without rashing or anything like that. So probably the green cap one is a better fit for me, and I like it. So remember when I got all of these Yves Saint Laurent Touche Éclat samples? I tried out the lightest one and it was way too dark for me, and that was that. Ooh, oh no, this isn't what I thought it was. I ran out of a serum from The Ordinary, and I don't really have repeats in that category. I have like 4 or 5 serums. This was my peptide serum that I use pretty much morning and night, definitely morning if not night. I need to replace it. And this is, again, it's like I've run out of this category and I just haven't been passionate enough to replace it yet. Or I'm also kind of waiting until I run out of more products from The Ordinary so that I can place the order all at once. I don't feel that freaky outy feeling that I used to feel when I ran low on or ran out of a skincare product that I really loved. That feeling like I'm gonna be hideous if I don't instantly replace this. I must instantly replace this. I can't live without it. I don't feel that way. I'm going to replace this. This is Buffet. Did I not say what it was? Buffet, it's their mixed peptide serum. Oh no, I see the light coming in. I'm gonna close my curtain. My curtain is sheer, in case you can't tell. I don't usually film at this time of day. I hope it's okay. Anyway, Buffet, I highly recommend it as just an all-around serum. If you just want to get a serum, one good old serum, I recommend this one. And yeah, it was my only peptide serum. It was the only serum that falls into that category in my routine. I will probably replace it with itself. I just haven't gotten it together to place the order yet from The Ordinary. Oh, I'm gonna find the thing I thought that was. I finally finished my lactic acid serum from The Ordinary. And I have to say, I was like bashing this because I am so in love with Good Genes, and I had run out of Good Genes and I had to keep using this so that I could use it up because they're both lactic acid serums. I couldn't purchase another bottle of Good Genes until I ran out of this, blah, blah, blah. You guys already know this. So I was all like, the one from The Ordinary, it's trash compared to Good Genes. But then I had about a half a bottle left, and then I had to use it for, you know, gosh, maybe a month and a half. I don't know how long it was. It's good. It's good. I do think that it exfoliated my skin. I don't think it's as potent and powerful and magical. That's the thing about Good Genes. It just feels magical. And since I've started using it again, which has been about 2 weeks, it's like all that ails me, everything that ails my skin is just starting to calm. Just tiny little things, texture, dullness here and there, lack of moisture, everything that sort of is an issue from time to time. Good Genes has just put a lid on it. It's just, to me, it is like my holy grail, my magic. So what could possibly hold a candle to that? Not this, right? Not this, but I highly recommend a lactic acid serum in anyone's routine. And I know that Good Genes is way too expensive for almost everyone. And I think this is a really, really, really good runner-up. And when I had to go back and revisit it, I was impressed by its performance. So impressed that what I will say is if I ever get to the point where I run out of Good Genes and I really can't afford to replace it, because I think it hurts to replace it now because it's $100. But there might be a time in my life where I truly can't afford to replace it. I would buy this again and use it instead of Good Genes for a time if I had to, and I would be kind of okay with it. More okay with it than I thought. So I'm glad I got the chance to revisit this and remember that it's not just like putting water on your face. It does tingle sometimes, like Good Genes does. It does its work. It does the work it's supposed to do. And I can't remember, this is the 5%. They might have a 10%. If they have a 10%, maybe I'll try it after I run out of Good Genes. So these are just little trial size sample, Fresh Vitamin Nectar Moisture Face Glow. It was like a deluxe sample size. Did nothing for me. Fresh Sugar Face Polish. I like it, but I don't like it as much as my Korres Wild Rose exfoliating polish. Similar product, similar place in the routine. I probably wouldn't purchase this instead of the Korres one, especially because I think this is just as expensive, if not more expensive. I'm not exactly sure, but I know that this isn't an inexpensive product. Okay. I bought one of these back in 2017. I just had to try it. I was telling you guys, I had the body wash and I didn't like the smell at first, and the smell really grew on me. And so before the end of the year, I bought one of these. And I'm just gonna say what everybody says about it. It's a beautiful body cream, and you know me, I dislike putting lotion on my body. I was willing to do it because of this, because this was so beautiful and smelled so good. It's just way, way, way too expensive. It's like, it feels like La Mer prices. I know it's not, but it feels like that. It's just ridiculous. If this were half the price, I would consider becoming a loyal customer, but I cannot spend the amount that this costs on a body cream, which is something that I don't really love that much to begin with. So I loved it. I treasured it while I had it. I think this product makes a really good gift. It's like the kind of thing that I can't bring myself to buy for myself, but I would love to buy it for someone else because it's so special. My L'Oreal Lash Paradise kicked the bucket while I was at the artist colony. I love it. I wish I could purchase it again, especially because it was my only brown mascara. And so I've been wearing either burgundy or black on me every day. And I do so many looks, like even this look today, for example, which is obviously very, very, very light on the eyes. I like to call this Tilda Swinton realness. L'Oreal Lash Paradise in Blackest Brown would have been a much better match mascara-wise for this look than the Marc Jacobs one that I have on. I think that's what I have on. Anyway, it would be better than a black. I won't be able to purchase it maybe ever this year, but it was fun while it lasted. Jamie Page was talking about this on her channel ages ago. The brand is called Best Skin Ever, and it's an indie brand that was started by a couple. Their website is so funny and strange, and I'm going to link it, and I recommend that you go check out their website. I was looking for a sea buckthorn oil to use as a cleansing oil, because the cleansing oil that you already know I love and have repurchased already this year is the Fresh Sea Berry Cleansing Oil. Best Skin Ever makes a lot of oils, a lot of different kinds of oils, and they kind of market them as multi-purpose. Like, it can be used as a skin care oil, but it can also be used for cleansing, etc., etc. It's not cheap. I'm not sure how it stacks up against Fresh, but I was just intrigued. I was intrigued to try a different sea buckthorn oil. So I got actually first a little, no, this is the mini. Okay, so this was the mini, and I got this and I started using it to wash my face, like as a cleansing oil. So I would put it on in the shower, 1 or 2 pumps, rub it into my eye makeup, and then I would wash it off, and then my skin would feel amazing. Amazing. And I was like, and I double cleanse. So I would wash it off and my skin would feel like so soft and incredible. And then I would have to go in with a soap and do my second cleanse, and it would wash away kind of that really, really lovely soft moisturizing residue that this oil was leaving on my skin. So I was like, this is too good for a cleansing oil. It's just too good. And so I took it out of the shower and I put it into another skincare category. I just started using it as like an all-purpose oil. It's a pretty thick, heavy oil, so it would be the last oil in my routine in the morning before my moisturizing sunscreen. And sometimes I would put it on at night, kind of as a sleeping mask. I would put it on last, or I would mix it in with my night moisturizer. I was using it as like an all-purpose moisturizing oil. It has a little bit of essential oils in it, but I think my skin kind of likes that. I think the astringency of some of those essential oils is actually good for my acne-prone skin. So I used up this little one, and then I got this big one, and I kept the little one so that I could pump it into here for travel because I've had these going for a while. A little goes a long way. They smell amazing. I love, love, love this product. I'm trying to decide what to do now that it's gone because I was using it all the time, but I feel like my marula oil from The Ordinary fits the category of all-purpose oil. And I don't feel in good conscience like I can have my marula oil still going and repurchase the Best Skin Ever Sea Buckthorn oil. My marula oil from The Ordinary is almost gone. So I need to decide if I'm going to repurchase the Best Skin Ever Sea Buckthorn oil or the Ordinary marula oil. And I'm leaning towards the marula oil just because it's so much cheaper. It's like close to $10, I think, and I think that the full size of this is close to $50. So I miss it. Now I have been out of it for some weeks, and I miss it. I really, really love that product. My no buy year is making me more thrifty. It's like the less I spend, the more reluctant I am to spend. And I'm doing something that I don't usually do, which is to make skincare decisions based on cost. So it's all very interesting. Oh, this was tragic. So this is the Eve Lom Dyna Spot. This is a spot treatment for acne. It's got tea tree oil in it and some other good stuff. It's fantastic. Eve Lom makes fantastic anti-acne products. Her rescue mask is really, really good. I have that, and when I'm really breaking out, I love that mask. If you're acne prone, Eve Lom rescue mask, it's pricey, but it's worth it. And so is Dyna Spot. And it's not even, I think it's $35 or something. It's not even that bad. It's a luxury product. I love this product. And what happened was it dried out. The carton busted open at the end and air got in there, and now you can hear the crumbs of product rattling around in there. But I had gotten a good maybe year, 2 years. I had this for a long time. I had used most of it up, so it's okay. And my skin, knock on wood, has been behaving pretty well recently. So my skin really likes California. The weather here it suits my complexion. This is another fresh sample, the Black Tea Corset Cream. I had this for a really, really long time, and I would occasionally put it on my neck, which is what it's for. I was afraid to put it on my face because it's a face and neck cream, and it seems like something hefty enough for the neck would be pore clogging on me. I eventually pretty much got through it. There's a little drop left in there, but it's starting to like curdle. So once again, just like the other little Fresh products, it's like, it's fine, but Fresh is like expensive. It's a luxury brand, and I have had the experience before of using a skincare sample and being blown away. A lot of my favorite products that I purchase and repurchase, that's how I discovered them. Like the Perricone MD moisturizing sunscreen that I use. I had a little foil packet of that one time, and I took it traveling. One morning I popped it open. There was only one use in there. It was like just enough for one day, but I put it on my skin and I was like, what? When has there ever been such a lightweight and melty and beautiful moisturizing sunscreen in history? And then I went and bought a jar. So I know that a sample can wow me. And these little samples from Fresh just haven't, especially considering how expensive this brand is. And I don't hate Fresh or something. I use their sea buckthorn cleansing oil, and I really like that. So I don't think the brand has nothing to offer. I've just been very unimpressed by the samples I've had this year. This was like a luxury sample size that I purchased with money of the La Mer eye cream. It was fine. Just like most eye creams. I'm sure it moisturized my under eyes, but I didn't notice a massive difference, and definitely not enough to repurchase at whatever price this probably is. Ooh, this was fun to try. The Drunk Elephant Glycolic Framboose TLC Serum. TLC Framboose Glycolic Night Serum by Drunk Elephant. I have always wanted to try this. It fits in the same category in my routine as a lactic acid serum. It's just that this is glycolic. So it's like it's an acid serum for sleeping. And so I can't buy this. I have good genes, and I wouldn't replace good genes with this. This is also very expensive. I think it's $85. So it's like there's good jeans in my collection now. There's the Ordinary lactic acid on deck. And so like, why would I switch to this? I already have what I love, and that's that. But it's a great product. It didn't feel more aggressive than Good Jeans. I do think that maybe over prolonged use, because this is a glycolic serum, it might be better for people with oily skin, whereas lactic acid is hydrophilic, so it is good for people with dry skin because it's an exfoliating acid, but it's not going to dry you out. I know that prolonged use of glycolic acid can dry you out, so it might not be the best for people who already have dry skin. But over the 2 or 3 nights that I used this, I didn't find that my skin got drier. It just felt like it was calming and clarifying and smoothing and just everything that a good acid serum should be. So I totally 100% believe in this product and support it. I just don't need it. I love Drunk Elephant, and I watched Carolyn Hyron's interview with the owner of Drunk Elephant recently. I'll link that down below. It was so fun to watch. She's just lovely, very unassuming, laid back. The story of how the brand got started is really interesting. It was sort of just a passion project, and she doesn't come really from a skincare background. She comes from the background of a consumer with very troubled skin. And I knew that Drunk Elephant was a clean brand, but I didn't realize how obsessively clean they are. I didn't realize that that was like their main shtick. It made me feel more of an affinity with the brand and more excited about the brand. I just really think Drunk Elephant is cool. So yeah, go watch that. It's fun to watch. And Carolyn Hyron's is literally a stitch. She's so funny. So the last thing in here was just a little Sephora sample. So it's a Sephora brand hyaluronic acid cream. It's just a basic cream with hyaluronic acid in it. I was very reluctant to try this because I'm so worried about heavy creams breaking me out. Not heavy creams, that's not true. I'm worried about sort of random suspicious ingredients in inexpensive face creams clogging my pores. But I read all the ingredients and I didn't see anything that troubled me. So I tried it one night. I used this whole pack as like a sleeping mask one night when I was kind of running low on everything. And I have to say, I woke up with soft, smooth, plump skin. I wasn't so blown away that I was like, I've got to get this and use it instead of my kind of favorite. It wasn't like that. But if you're really, really on a budget and you're looking for a hyaluronic acid cream to just use kind of as an all-purpose, can't say I don't recommend the Sephora brand one. And we're done.
We're done. We're done.
It's not a lot of empties. It's just amazing. I think it's been so interesting to see how fast I've gone through stuff since I've stopped buying new stuff. Did you hear that rhyme? Did you hear that internal rhyme? That's why they pay me the big bucks. How fast you go through stuff when you stop buying new stuff. These giant empties every month, it's revealing of how much more product I have than I need. Because all of these categories are slowly being whittled down to one, and that's how I would like it to be. That appeals to my minimalist soul, it appeals to my wallet. I have visions of finishing out my no-buy year with only one product in each crucial category, and then being able to sustain that as a lifestyle choice from here on out. It's like an enormous watershed that's happening for these first several months, just tearing through product and for the most part not replacing it because I don't need to replace it yet. That reminds me, I forgot to show you my Good Jeans, but it's right here. When I ran out of the lactic acid serum from the Ordinary, I, bit the bullet. I've been using a little bit less than I used to, and this is another thing that's been a really interesting bit of evolution in my behavior in my no-buy year. I don't want my products to run out when I'm down to just one. So this has happened with both of these. When I first got this, I was like slathering it on like it was water, and then I saw how fast I was going through it, and I was like, I might not need that much, because there's no prospect of something new and exciting, and I'm not experimenting. I just have this one product, and when I run out, I'll have to buy it again. It's like a change in my thinking. Like I want to save it. I don't want it to run out. I want to use the amount that I need for it to be effective and no more than that. And I used to be a real messy user of skincare. I would just like dump it on, maybe because I had so much stuff around, or maybe because I was not as money conscious, not as conscious of my spending. Maybe part of me wanted to use stuff up so that I had that feeling like I had earned the right to buy a bunch more stuff. And that's just not the mode I'm in right now. I don't want to use this stuff up because I'll just have to buy it again. And so I've been using half a pump of Good Genes instead of a full pump. The pump is like a big pump. It pumps out a lot. I've been using like half a pump and just spreading it really thin, and I think it's enough. Like, I think it's working, and I've been using a lot less of this than I was. I just feel like I've kind of finally got my head screwed on straight in terms of how much I need to be using of these really, really potent and expensive skincare products. So that's just been interesting, and I think appropriate to mention at the end of an empties video, because it is the end, my friends. It is the end. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you will subscribe and follow me through the rest of my no-buy year. And hit the notification bell and leave me a comment. And take extra good care of yourself this week so that you can be the most effective version of yourself as you do your work in the world. I have lipstick on my hand.